Is the AI-powered internet about to be built on Hedera? We are going to look at this groundbreaking news today on Frugal BC. Comes from our friends at Genfinity, who we hopefully will be doing some partnerships with coming forward, so keep an eye out for that. But we're going to get into this news because I think this is a really cool story and definitely worth diving into. Before we do that, guys, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button. As I always say, you don't have to smash it. You just press it gently. It works just fine that way too. Also, we have channel memberships starting at only $1, so do check that out. You can get these videos before anybody else. And we are brought to you by Non-Fungible Domains and by Marcus Aurelius. Since this is not an Algorand video, I'm just going to give them a brief shout out, so check them out in the description below. But let's get into this because Genfinity posted this, and I've been in talks with the Genfinity founder about doing some work together, and they've been having some really good interviews lately on X. But this one is actually an article, and I don't know. I think this is really cool. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so like I said, this is from Generation Infinity, otherwise known as Genfinity. I've been in talks with these guys, so we're hopefully going to do something together pretty soon. And they posted, breaking: a new AI-powered internet is being built on Hedera. And what they seem to mean is decentralized on-chain agentic internet, which is really, really interesting. I think AI is really, really interesting, but the most interesting part to me is the agent aspect, because that allows you to do so much more. So an agent works, instead of just like asking an AI to do something, it does that one thing and then you ask it again. An AI agent can actually accomplish a number of tasks. And I've wanted to learn how to do more in this space. So it's definitely an area of interest for me. But why don't we look at what Genfinity has to say about this? I definitely encourage you guys to look more into this, read up on this for yourself, and definitely give them a follow. Hashgraph Online, building the decentralized on-chain agentic internet. Web3 is evolving quickly, but the next shift may be deeper than tokens or DeFi. Autonomous agents are beginning to reshape how users interact with data, services, and each other. These agents learn, reason, act, and communicate without human intervention. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And this is kind of the scary stuff too, right? It's exciting because this is where I actually know some people who are using this for their business now, where you basically can buy an agent and it's like $40 a month. So it costs a little bit, but obviously way cheaper than an employee. And it can do a bunch of stuff for you that really help you out. And they had different like types, they had different like, they just gave them names, like different employee names and avatars. And they said, well, this one can do this one can do that. You know, one takes care of your email or whatever. Anyway, Hashgraph Online is building the foundation for this transformation. Its standards and protocols make AI agents discoverable, verifiable, and monetizable on Hedera. These tools don't just support communication, they enable trusted economic collaboration between agents and users. This article explores how Hashgraph Online leads that transformation through standards, SDKs, and online infrastructures. So this is really interesting stuff. I've read a post from Vitalik Buterin a couple of years ago, maybe a year ago, where he talked about some of the synergies between AI and crypto, and it was more than what you might think. He's a pretty smart guy. Hashgraph Online DAO is a decentralized standards organization. It was created to enable fully composable on-chain internet using Hedera Hashgraph. Early contributors saw the need for shared infrastructure across Hedera dApps. They began building reusable protocols to accelerate innovation. So the DAO focuses on developing and maintaining Hedera consensus service standards, which they simplify core functions like messaging, data storage, governance, AI, agent interactions. The DAO itself includes a diverse group of members. It's from Bonzo Finance, I think I've covered them before, Neuron, Kylo Scribe, CentX, Turtle Moon, Launchbadge, hgraph.io, Builder Labs, Hashpack. Okay, so that's the wallet, right? Yeah. And Hashgate. Interesting. AI agents are autonomous software programs. Yeah, so we kind of talked about this. It's more than just like asking a question and getting a response back or some work back. These can actually go on the internet and do things, which is wild. Kind of like I guess they sort of say like chatbots are kind of agents. Yeah, that makes sense. Recommendation engines even. Are those the same thing? I'm not 100% sure on that. So the point about Web3 is it can decentralize the agent. So imagine a DAO assistant, a trading bot, or an NFT concierge all acting autonomously. These agents can own wallets, interact with smart contracts, and manage digital entities. Honestly, this scares me a little. I mean, think about how many crypto scams there already are. there's for sure going to be people who are going to be using this for scams, and it's a little frightening to me. Why on-chain AI agents are the future? On-chain agents offer transparency and accountability. Their actions live on public ledgers. So that's kind of the flip side of that, but that hasn't stopped crypto scams, right? I think it's better that it's on Hedera than on or Algorand or one of those coins versus like maybe something that's less trustworthy. Like I wouldn't want it on Shiba or something, I don't know, or one of these new meme coins. So Hedera's HCS allows agents to log actions cheaply and immutably. The Hedera token service enables them to hold value, receive payments, or pay for services. This unlocks sustainable agent business models. Yeah, and like I said, there's in the Web 2 world, there's agents that you can buy that do things. And this would be, putting this on chain would make it a lot easier, I think. Here they're just kind of talking about this is like really into the weeds. Conv AI and on-chain AI. So Conv AI, that's a hard one to say, is a decentralized messaging standard for AI agents. It defines how agents register, connect, and interact with Hedera. Every communication leaves a cryptographic trail. Nothing gets lost or hidden. Yes. So each agent creates 3 core topics: inbound topic, outbound topic, connection topics. Agents use HCS 11 to explore their profiles, lets them see capabilities, pricing, contact points. Agents charges for access, 8 HIP. So this really gets into the nuts and bolts here. Here, this is probably like a little, I like this explanation. Okay, how does Conv AI work? Each agent has a Hedera account. Each agent has an HCS 11 profile. Profiles include inbound and outbound topic IDs. Communication happens on private threshold topics with 2 agents' public keys. All agents are discoverable in a registry topic. With the standards agent kit, this is where it gets interesting, okay? This is the standard agents kit. You can launch agents with natural language prompts. That's really important because no one wants to, it just opens it up to far more people. Monetize interactions using HIP 991 fee-gated topics. Store profiles and chat history directly on chain. It's available on NPM and open source by Hashgraph Online. So can you do this now? This is wild. Toolkit lowers the barrier to entry for developers and powers many agents in the current hackathon. So here they say new AI agents launch daily. Experts predict these agents will eventually transact billions in Web3. They want to discover each other, monetize services, and message one another efficiently. And they talk about modules. So they really get into the retails. Oh, here, real world agent use cases already in development. So this is the kind of stuff it's like, okay, let's bring it into the real world here a little bit, right? What do they have to say? Okay, projects already building on these tools. Agents act as support bots that explain features and resolve tickets. Yeah, I think I've been on the other end of some of these, and they can be kind of helpful, but also sometimes they replace real customer service, and that's frustrating. For instance, I had trouble with Substack. I had some issues, and I was dealing with an agent, and I was like, hey, I got to talk to a real person. You're just not helping me. It's good if if it's something you could probably have looked up yourself, it's good to eliminate those, and it probably saves them a lot of, it saves you a lot of like customer service tasks that you would need to have, the labor that you would need to have. Because let's be honest, like even as I worked at a newspaper, and we would get calls all the time for stuff that people could so easily Google. It's like, dude, just look it up. It was crazy. So if you can save a lot of that kind of stuff, that's good. NFT concierge so anyway, other stuff, DAO assistants that summarize proposals and answer governance questions. They're kind of similar, kind of a support bot similar to that. NFT concierge that guide users through collections or airdrops. Okay. DeFi bots that fetch APRs and monitor portfolio performance. All that could be really useful, because I'll tell you, one of my big issues that I have with a lot of these DeFi platforms is they just don't have enough information about how you're doing. You don't get enough metrics to really assess whether something is working or not. And it's gotten better. I think Tonyman does a pretty good job of this, but a lot of times there's just stuff that I would like to see. For their liquid staking, for instance, I really have no idea. I have to take their word for it that I'm getting the APR that they say, because there's just no way to monitor it that I can find. Metaverse guides that narrate, recommend, or assist with in-world tasks. Each agent runs permissionlessly. Their actions are logged immutably. So I do like that at least you'll have a log of what they're actually doing. We don't get this necessarily with regular agents. Like it's good that you can go look that up. So anyway, apparently, if you want to support this hackathon, Hashgraph Online DAO is doing a giveaway. They're giving away $100 in pack during the April 17th roundtable. That is today. So you still have time if you're getting this the day I record this and post it, or you do have to attend the roundtable space. So keep an eye out for that. You can quote RT. What's in your Open Conv AI agent's backpack? Yeah, he really went That's quite a story. So I think it's really interesting. This could be one of the major use cases for Hedera, and we're definitely going to be following this. I think Genfinity is right to highlight this as a potentially big deal, because AI agents, this is where AI is going, and I think it's when AI is going to be most useful. The fact that it's happening on Hedera Hashgraph, I think that's really good for Hedera. That'll be a giant use case. And it's something that, you know, when you talk about like stuff like carbon credits, I think people are like, that's cool, but also it doesn't have that pizzazz, you know, it doesn't have that, it doesn't really, I don't think it really grips people the same way that like being on the cutting edge of AI agents will. I think this is a big deal, and this is really good for Hedera. You know, I know right now we're in an era where we should be, you know, we want the price to really be skyrocketing, and obviously it is not. Of course, it is way up from like a year ago, especially a year and a half ago. I remember I was at like 4 or 5 cents for a really long time. Most of my Hedera was bought around 4 or 5 cents. So seeing it go up, you know, over 20 cents and now falling back down and still even being 15, 16 cents, whatever it is right now, that's still very, very good for me. So, and I think it's good for anyone who bought in that period. But this kind of stuff is going to mean that Hedera's around a long time. This is it's the same argument I make on Algorand. The more real world use cases, the more likely this is going to be around, and actually, because people are actually using it, it matters. So good for Hedera. I think this is a really fun video to make, because I think AI is super interesting. So let me know what you think. Do you use AI? Do you use ChatGPT or Claude or any of those? And do you think you would use an agent? Let me know in the description below. Would you, if you did use an agent, would you make sure it's on Hashgraph? I'd also be curious about that. Otherwise, I'm FrugalBC. I hope you do well out there, and I will see you in the future.